Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fantasy Football Sevens, the podcast about your league, about our league, spreading awareness about Kawasaki's disease right here. In response to COVID, COVID cases are going up. There's starting to be a direct correlation with Kawasaki's disease and COVID. So make sure if you got the COVID, just, if it lingers, if you see long side effects, make sure you don't have Kawasaki's disease. Just spreading that, okay? Want to get that out of the way. Today's Fantasy Football Expo Rewind, and also about playing nice, man. We had an incident in one of the leagues while I was on my way back from the road, and I just want to remind everybody that Fantasy Football Sevens, this league, I got to wear this shirt while I was there and highlight it to everybody. This league's about fun, What up, Hustler? Glad to join the show, bro. Thank you so much, man. I just want to remind everybody, this league's about fun, man. And if you go out of your way to talk smack to somebody and DM them that make them feel bad, that's not what this league's about, man. Get a feel for somebody. By all means, if there's somebody you had, I pump up having a rival all the time, man. If you have a fantasy football rival, you guys know each other. Yeah, then go DM that person and be like, man, come on, dude, yada, 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 booty, booty. I can't believe you let me beat you by 120 points. Say whatever you want to say. But if you don't know somebody and you go out of your way to talk smack, and I kind of investigate it and realize, you're just not really doing something to improve the league, then I'm sorry, man. We're going to have to show you the door. That's not what it's about, man. It's learning about IDP. It's learning about Kawasaki's disease. I'm trying to show you IDP's fun, man. That's what this league's about. And heck yeah, be a competitor. I'm a competitor. I'm going to win. Alex wants to win. Tyler, the champion, retaining this league, he wants to win. I promise you, everybody in this league wants to win, no matter if they're a football fantasy analyst or somebody that just sits back and watch football Sunday. Those people are the most lethal ones. Us analysts, we're in 70 leagues or something. So you got to watch that. But, just keep in mind, it's about fun, man. You got 16 people in your league. You're going to have a rival. But don't go out of your way to just be mean to somebody in the league, man. I'm just not going to allow it. Getting some swag. I got all 32 teams right here. I got some swag I'm going to highlight. I got at the Hall of Fame to add to the league winners, man. Just a few little things I got. Before we get to that, though, I do want to highlight the Expo. Let me pull down the shirt a little bit. Got this pretty cool shirt from there. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a great time to be there. There's a lot of people in the industry. The first person I met, the person I parked beside right when I pulled up, was Gary. IDP Shark Davenport, man, down-to-earth guy. Talked to him, went to the IDP panel. I had to give my 2 cents, even though I wasn't sitting on the booth. I couldn't get away without saying what I had to say about IDP, even giving a little bit of advice I snuck in. I just kind of loved it. I want to do a shout-out to Bob Long. I saw you working hard. Everywhere I went, Bob wasn't sitting down. He had to run around like a madman. If you saw him, he was in a brisk pace, carrying something, getting some information for somebody, telling somebody where to go. Him and his wife, Pam, and his whole family actually photographing it, videoing it, just helping coordinate it. Amazing job. There was several hundred people there. They did an amazing job. And I want to tell y'all, thank you, Bob. And you were in the Robin Williams League, and, best of luck in that league. It's going to be tough. That's where the champ's at. It's hard in Samuel L. Jackson League as well, too, man. There's a lot of good leagues out there, and it's the Fantasy Football Expo. I was able to meet a few of those people in there, some of these IDP experts, some of these people that are just playing. I got to see the great 50 Shades of Drunk, Jordan Rains, man. I hung out with him a few different times. We were both at the IDP panel. I got to hang out with several of those guys in the IDP Army as well. Got to see the football guys, the IDP guys, the fantasy football frame, or fantasy football in frames, fantasy in frames. There we go with Jorge and some of those fellas. It was just an awesome time to be there. And and what I realized is we're all in this together. Everybody's very approachable. Everybody likes having fun. Everybody likes to, talk about fantasy, dude. That's kind of what it's all about. It's what everybody does, and everybody's there. You get to acknowledge. You got to get the feedback. You can tell right there that there's not too many fakers there. If you love fantasy enough to get there, you're going to have your preparation, and there's going to be everybody pushing kind of their agenda. But I do appreciate, being in this league, everybody, and everybody having a good time in this league. For me, that's what it's all about. I want to reiterate that. And at the Expo, man, it was just cool to be around other IDP people and see, although a lot of these people have been playing from the 90s, even Alex, man, you've been playing in your league a long time. You've been playing fantasy football. I've been playing, this is going to be my 13th year, but you've been playing even longer than me. But what I realized as an IDP head is somebody that after 1 year of playing fantasy football, I was like, man, I got to figure out what's up with this IDP thing, because I love watching that side of the ball. that's what it was at. I was like a 12 years in the IDP. We're kind of ahead in this. So that's what I think is a cool thing about being in fantasy football sevens. You're getting somebody that's really had over a decade of experience, specifically in IDP scoring, the format. And, I think everybody's going to love it. If you're new to it this year, you get used to those big points, like Alex said. Once he figured out the defensive side of the ball, figured out that's where those points were coming at. That's where, figure out your league. In this league, I'll post it again, once we get going, so people know the defense is going to be the highest scoring league because of how you can do it. There was a few shutouts. There was a couple 3-point games. There was a couple games where they just didn't allow any yards. You allow that, man, and you get a lot of sacks. You get a turnover, you get a touchdown. Watch out. You're going to get like 50, maybe 60 points from your defense, which isn't going to happen all the time. It's a lot of fun, though. Okay. And, but just to bring it back, look at some of the stuff I got. I thought this was probably one of the best koozies I got for free. One beer away from talking about sleeved for tight ends, man. You know how it is. What's up, Brother Ross? Thank you for joining, man. Really appreciate you checking out the show too, dude. And to get you on here, I know you want to talk. We talked about collaborating. Let's make it happen. Yeah, Dolphins last year brought you back from 0-7. Yeah, because they went on a run. Say what you want. Brian Flores had a good defense set up over there. Phillips came along as a rookie, started getting a lot of those sacks. Jerome Baker, as much as he let us down, he did do his thing. That secondary, of course, everybody that even know IDPs pretty much know that Dolphins defense secondary was on lock last year. All right. So keep in mind, those are little hints if you're watching this show. Pay attention to the defense. And as always, I like that one too. Sleeper tight ends. You don't have to start in a tight end in this league, but if you do start one, no big deal. Fantasy and Frames got one of their stick like koozies. Matt, one guy that I see a lot, Cheeseburger Fantasy, man, got to give him a shout out up there. Of course, I got something from the IDP Army. I've already stuck it on. I don't have it over here, but the IDP guys there, the football guys, Bulldog Fantasy Sports got some very bold takes. Saw him over there. I got this from the IDP Army. Check it out. It looks like some dude getting trucked, but it's actually an offensive guy trucking a defensive guy. Come on, guys. Come on, Army. Do better than that. But it does look like a defensive guy. Fantasy Alarm. I got to give a shout-out to those guys. I got to play flag football with Adam Ronas of the Alarm Show, Colby as well, Cody. Who else was there? Andrew Cooper, man. All in the Fantasy Alarm was basically their show. Shout-out to that team. I went out for 2 plays. Those are the only 2 plays they moved the ball. Unfortunately, one of those was a touchdown on the defensive side. I'm sorry. We'll get it back next year. We'll get it back. But it was so cool. Especially hanging out with Adam, listening to the show. I really liked what he had to say about the Expo. It's so great, man. We all got to get there. I feel bad for a lot of my West Coast people. Would love to make something happen over there too as well. But I think I'll always go to Canton. It was just such a magical moment for me. I'm going to get my wife there next year and just have a great time. Also in the UK, I'm putting it out in the air. Once I win a big pot for one of my best balls or maybe a high entry, but I told the wife we're going to the UK, we're going to the Expo there as well. Make a trip out of it. I've always wanted to go a few places over there, but I'm talking about mainly fantasy. She's already gave me the okay, not joking. So I'm putting it out there to manifest it, man. We got to make it happen. They're going to brought back early on the same guys. They're going to hurt at DB and linebacker. Yeah, I'm hoping Baker comes back, man. I really do. I just highlight that real point just to talk about it. When this is all open discussion, man. If you put it in the comments, let's all talk. Let's all get it going. This is everything I do is kind of a Q&A. I'm going to be doing, I talked to Hustler. We're going to be doing Prime Time Thursdays, but we're going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A before that too. Set your week off right with some fantasy, get a little money in that pocket. From a betting standpoint, I live in a legal betting state. It's kind of what my shows are talking about. So make sure y'all check that out. Plugging that right now as well. Live drafts, you know what? I became a fan of auction real quick while we're at the Expo. I don't think I'll ever make the charity league that because it's worldwide. But those guys I met at the panel, Drew, shout out to those guys. Jody over there, Doug, Scott Polanski, man, been in the industry 30 years. I had a conversation with him. I kind of recognized him sitting there. I was like, just approached me. These guys have been doing it from the 90s, been in the industry, getting paid for multiple decades. He's actually been doing it from the 80s. I was just talking to him. We got to talking about, I was wearing my Leroy Butler jersey, that I had to represent out there at the Hall of Fame, baby. Couldn't go without my guy. He saw me wearing it. We ended up talking about the Packers, and lo and behold, I just stuck around, listened to the artist, stuck around. I made sure to go to talk about the auction, and Hustler talked about being an auctioneer, man. I am all about it. I want to do an awesome auction draft. Thinking about firing up a couple more. We'll see how it goes. You know how we all get Jones, and we're all like, oh, thank God it's all over, the drafts, and then you get that like feeling of just watching some preseason games, like I didn't get any shares of that guy. You want to go get drafted again. But keep in mind, the waiver wire is open on Fantasy Football 7s. I did not lock the waiver. We can move it. It's not an auction. You can make any move you want. I saw somebody pick up Dobbs 2 days ago, just sitting there. Dobbs was just sitting there. So make sure you're making moves in Fantasy Football 7s. I think it's kind of the funnest part of in-season play is obviously, hit it on your guys, but then scooping up on the guys before that. Make sure you stay active with that. We're going to talk about active players all year because that's the cool thing about being the commission. I get to see the moves all of you guys make all across the leagues, and I get to tell the other leagues, hey, you might want to go grab this guy. He's been going off in this format. All right, so keep in tune for that. Yeah, dude, the Vegas draft, I wish I could make it. I got burnt out, dude, but not burnt out like me, the pocketbook. But I plan on doing something next year, man. We got to make that happen, dude. We got to make that happen. Live drafts, that's where it's at, the auction drafts. I had a lot of fun at the Expo, man. I'm trying to bring it back. Got to meet Sandro. He was in Fantasy Football 7s last year. Same division as Alex. It was the toughest division last year in the league. I don't think there was a losing record. It was just, difficult to get it to go that way. But Sandro had one of the best records of the year, like third most points, and still didn't make it to the playoffs. I switched it up a little bit this year, strictly due to records. But check it out. He was awesome producer for a lot of the Sirius XM guys. Down to earth people there with Sirius XM, all approachable. Howard Bender, like I said, Adam Ronis, all the fantasy alarm guys, man, such an inspiration to talk to them, get a renewed sense of I'm in the right industry. You're in the right industry. We're all in the right industry because there's no better industry to be a part of. And the industry has a B attached to it and more than 10. So that's $10+ billion in this industry. There's enough for all of us to eat. Let's make it happen. How do we make it happen? We make sure we're having fun. We're making sure we're having positive experience. You got to weed out the negative people out there. As a bold move, reminding you guys, let's keep Fantasy Football 7s fun. It's about Kawasaki's disease. It's about IDP. It's about having fun. Don't get me wrong. I think being competitive is fun. I think it's very fun to be competitive and try to beat every opponent you play. That's part of the fun for me. And I hope that's part of the fun for you, but you don't have to vocalize it or, aggressively attack somebody because we're all doing it for the sake of fun, right? I wanted to say that real quick. Running along, I did get a couple more things. Before I get what I got from the Hall of Fame to add to the winners package this week, I do want to say I've been talking with We Are Boston Red Sox Cards fans. I should have had his name wrote up. I'll bring it up on the next one. But I'm going to do a card break with him. He does live card breaks, so I'm going to help him out. I've been playing with him, or I've been looking at his. I know Pike, my guy Pike out there, Cooper's dad. He's also going to donate some cards again this year, but I also want you to get the chance to get a live break. You could get a 1-of-1 card. Excuse me, 1 of 3 card. He has breaks like that all the time. And you always see somebody I saw last week, somebody got a Trevor Lawrence 1 of 5 card. I mean, if you're a card collector, if not cool, I'm always looking to get a good one, but if not, you can just get some of your favorite ones. These are just some of my Aaron Rodgers ones I've got lately. Gold Prism, not super rare, but somewhat rare. This one, Will to Win one, definitely more of a rare one from Aaron Rodgers as well. All these came from this guy right here, okay? Right here, another Aaron Rodgers hot start back in the day. All right, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big Rodgers guy. I got to listen to his podcast with Marcus Aubrey, kind of set the pace for what was a spiritual journey for the Fantasy Football Expo. But once again, We Are Boston Red Sox card fans. Check it out just like that, man. I'm going to work with him. We're going to add it to the package. Well, how it's going to work, I told him to give me the first break. There's obviously going to be 6 winners. Okay, you guys are going to get top priority on the teams you want. I'm going to pay for them. So if some of y'all have a favorite team, you may have to pick your second favorite team. If that's how it happens, have one ready. But I'm going to let him know, hey, let's get this break. You could get a 1 of 5. The rookie. You could get Clay Walker if you're a Packers fan. And I hate to bring it back to the Pack. You could get a Breece Hall if you're a Jets fan. Sauce Gardner. You could get. They got Dan Campbell cards. You're a big Dan Campbell's become one of the biggest celebrities out there. You could get a Dan Campbell card possibly. Okay, so just keep that all in mind. I'm working with this guy. We're adding it to it. A lot of fun. Love breaking cards. If you get a really special card, I mean, it's up to you. You could sell it right away. You could pass it down. You could do whatever you want. But if nothing else, you're going to get some. And one of them I got from Pike, just to highlight Cooper's dad. He sent some last year. He wasn't happy with the cards I was sending. I got to tie it back into the Expo, man. I got to see Reggie White. I got to see a lot of busts, man. I cried my eyes out. I bawled so much seeing all, just walking through the Hall of Fame, just all these experiences reminded me of how much I love football, even more so than I realized at that moment, I had a lot of emotion coming from him. What's up, Mason? Mace, glad to see you, man. I got to get you on the show. I haven't gotten a chance to go back and watch any of the condensed games yet. I know you have. Thank you for joining, man. We got to get you on here. If you have any advice for anybody out there, the Dan Campbell and the kneecaps are iconic, Brother Roz. Yeah, they are. I think he's getting some more iconic quotes out there. The one he just said on Hard Knocks. I got to catch up. I need to catch up after this weekend. But Mace, definitely got to get you on there. I've been seeing some of your comments about some of the action from the IDP standpoint. I love it. I love following your content, man. Got to get you on the show, dude. I know you're one of a kind. Bringing it back to Reggie, though, I cried so much. You go through the bus. I went real slow. I had to get away from a couple people that were really jovial, man, because kudos to them, man. I wish I could have been. I was that happy, too, but I was also so sad just from, like, not sad, just like this overwhelming emotion just over me, and I had to go really slow. And I was there with an elderly couple, and, man, he was just breaking down every player that every year he broke down something to his wife, about how their greatness and their stats and the reason they're called this and how their legacy. And, man, it just, it tears me up almost thinking about it. But there's a couple I got to highlight, man. Herb Adderley, Packer, old school Packer and Cowboy, won the first ring with the Cowboys too, said he never wore that Cowboy Super Bowl ring. He was so much more proud to be a Packer baby. I said that's all the rings that mattered to him. He was a Vince Lombardi guy. Saw Vince Lombardi, his bus is just like, almost makes you want to get out there and like bust your ass real quick like you're getting judged or something, you know what I'm saying? But the class of Madden, Reggie White, Warren Moon, Troy Aikman, that's a great one. 1980 was a great class. I'm going to be posting a lot of photos of the bus and stuff. But my guy, Reggie White, man, he went in posthumously. So they got to do his bus, and it's the most lifelike bus. And me, I'm like 6 foot. So his bus was just like eye to eye with me. And there's like such a fierceness in his eyes. There's like this fierceness that just scares you almost, man. And his bust looks so lifelike, especially with the way the light hits it. And he's just beaming down into you, man, like I'm about to destroy you. But then if you just get a little lower, he's got the dimples. He's got the big smile. He looks like he's just going to pick up those big arms, and instead of just sacking you and crushing every bone in your body, he looks like he just wants to give you the biggest hug and basically say, thanks for loving football, man. That's how I took it, John Madden said at nighttime, the bus all talk to each other, right? And he's in that conversation. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not just at nighttime, man. If you're there, they talk, and it's an amazing experience. You got to go to the Hall of Fame, dude. Like I said, so added some more stuff to it from the Hall of Fame. I got to add to the prize package. Nothing special, nothing huge, that is, I should say, but Pro Hall of Fame pencil. I got one with Kenton, Ohio. You can see the Hall of Fame. If you win, now next year you can make your list. If you want to, sharpen it. If you want to hang it up, remind yourself that, man, if you're good enough at this fantasy football thing, and you would write about it, especially all you content creators, you can get in a Hall of Fame for fantasy football. That kind of became my new awakening goal because I realized I'm good enough to do it. But I realized is going in the Hall of Fame, what you need is a passion. I love football with all my heart. I love fantasy football with all my heart. And a desire to be good and to go about it the right way, to be a representation of fantasy football, to be a representation of IDP. I realize what these things mean, and we all got to do that. Let's go, bro. What up, man? Good to see you, TD. Let go. But, yeah, you got that one. Because I do anticipate some Brazilians or some UKs, maybe the Aussie. We got the Denmarkish. We got a couple Mexico, man. I also got this American flag, but, it's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful place. There's some beautiful aspects of it about football. Canton, Ohio is like no place I've ever been in my life, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll try to go there at least once a year for the rest of my life, man, or, to the Expo or something. But I do plan on working towards becoming a fantasy football Hall of Famer and everything that entails. But this is just part of the package. Like I said, you can hang it, you can sharpen it, make your list, sharpen your list, keep it twice, keep you in mind that if you do win, you're great. If you win a 16-team league, fantasy league, you're great. You don't luck your way into winning a 16-team fantasy league. You don't just draft your way into winning a 16-team fantasy league. Make sure you're staying involved with my content, other these people you see content. We all want to win championships, all right? So if you strive for greatness, if you win a league, you're going to get one of these pencils and also one of these cool stickers, man. I got a few of these for us as well. Maybe it'll inspire you to go. Maybe it'll inspire you to go to the Expo. Once again, just remind you that you're great. That you belong to be with greatness, but you got to earn it. I'm not just going to give these away to everybody as much as I would like to. You got to earn it. All right. You got to win. Maybe one day you can get yourself into a league of its own, and So like I said, not much, but 3 new things. I'm going to try to keep adding new things throughout the year. Don't forget, you get the IDP jersey, some other things from me. I'm going to add, like, just from my local towns, and some of this stuff, man. And you're going to get it all. Plus the honor of knowing that you did something at only 6% chance of success going into it. All right. I want to remind everybody, let's keep everything cordial in the fantasy football sevens. All right. You got to be nice. People are in here. Some people have never played much fantasy football. Some people just wanted to donate, and I was like, talk them into it. Hey, why don't you just play, man? Be fun. Nothing you can lose. Let's keep it cordial. You got a fantasy football rival, you can talk to them privately. Say what you want. Say within reams of what's going on. What's up, Bogey? Good to see you, man. Good to see you out there, bro. If you're going to have a fantasy football rival too. If you pay attention in this league, like I said, your first week should be your last week. Go check your schedule. Not week 14, week 1 should be the same opponent. Week 2, week 13 should be the same opponent. Week 3, week 13, week 12 should be the same opponent. Okay, go look at that. That's your division. You're going to have to conquer your division to get to the playoffs. All right, that's just kind of the natural beast of it. All right. And then, it goes throughout. You should kind of notice a flow to your schedule. But if you check those 3 for me, you'll be good, though. Yeah, you do, man. It's 16, and then to win the ultimate prize of 96, get yourself a Leroy Butler, whoever you want. In your case, Fred Warner. You want to go back. Maybe you're more of a Romanowski guy, Ronnie Lott guy. I don't know. I know there's a lot of 49ers back there. I'll get you any IDP jersey you want if I can find it, man. We can put the name on the numbers on some of the sites, and we get you a nice jersey. Tyler last year, Micah Parsons. It's a nice top-notch jersey. It's what he wanted. I got to get it. That's my only stipulation. It's got to be IDP, baby. We're keeping the IDP rolling. That's what this league's about. Like I said, Kawasaki's disease, IDP, having fun. Getting a rival, because I'm all about it, dude. I had to get this hat. I'm not really a big hat guy per se, but I had to get something with Canton. Had to get something with the great Leroy Butler, man. If you need some inspiration in life, this man couldn't walk. This man had to be in a wheelchair. He was so pigeon-toed, he had to get braces in his legs, break his legs, reset his legs, and then he came around and he's a Hall of Famer, man. I got to see Leroy Butler's bust, man. Just a down-to-earth dude, and I didn't get to see him just per se, but just a very inspiring person of my youth, So just you got to strive for that greatness. You got to want it. You got to set goals. You got to set perimeters. He had the opportunity to become such an influential part of his defense with Reggie White that the coach asked him what he wanted to do that week. If you want that kind of greatness in your life, you gotta work for it. You got to obtain it. You got to believe in yourself. Those are the things you got to do, and you got to surround yourself with love. Ronnie Lott, man. Ronnie Lott, Leroy Butler, 1990s all decade starting safety. Ronnie Lott, number 2 in that lineup, to tell you how great Leroy Butler was at what he does, man. Interceptions, first with 2020, interception sacks, really changed it, man. Everything you knew, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, all these guys that can kind of come down in the box and play. Derwin James, I don't know if y'all heard that. It's not really a news show, but Derwin James getting that huge contract, man. Most highest paid safety of all time. He deserves it. Needs to take care of his body, stay healthy. But, man, what a factor, what a great thing for the Chargers as an IDP player. Then they got Van Noy, they got Mack, they got Bosa. They're loading up. They're trying to make a run. That AFC West is volatile because all those teams feel like they could get to the Super Bowl. And at most, 3 of them can go to the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to watch, And I just shouted out, like I said, I got to see the IDP guys. It was a pleasure seeing those guys. Fantasy and Frame, Fantasy Alarm, Fantasy IDP Army, Cheeseburger, Jordan Reigns, all you guys, man. It was a pleasure to see all you guys. JC, Colt, man, who else was that? Dave. I got to see Marcus Grant. I got to hang out with Marcus Grant. I got to tell Michael Fabiano, like, I've been watching you since before Warren Sapp was even making commercials on the NFL Network. I mean, I'm talking Rich Eisen still had a little bit more hair than he did back then. It was just an honor to get there, man. And it's an honor to be in this league with everybody. I really appreciate everybody being in it. Like I said, let's keep it fun. You're going to have a rival starting next week. I don't really want to do too many of these shows myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to start getting more people on the show. Let's talk about your team. Let's talk about your philosophy, because this is your league. This podcast is just for us. I broadcast it live, but it's for us in the fantasy football sevens. And so I can highlight your team. Listen to me. Every 96 teams in this league, every one of you are going to get a game of the week highlighted about your team. Highlight about what you've been doing, looking at your winning percentages, looking at what, I think you've been doing right. I'm not here to tell you how to run your league, but I will acknowledge the things that I think you're doing very correct. All right. So let's have fun with it. Let's get some more people on the show. I want to talk about it. We're going to start highlighting the game of the weeks real soon. We got a couple more weeks, and guess what? Real deal NFL Holyfield football, baby. No preseason. I love the preseason personally. I hope you all are watching it. You get an edge that way. But make sure that you were getting the highlight. I love you on the show. I'd love to have as many. We can have 3 or 4 or 5 guests on here, man. I host it live. We're going to talk about it. Like I said, you want to get, at the end of the day, not only do you want those cards, you want to get one of these, right? Homemade, make these. Probably going to change the logo. I got to take a photo with Jordan Raines wearing this. Me and him met in year 1. I barely beat him. You want to talk about a great feeling. You win a 16-team league, you're going to have a great feeling about yourself because, like I said, you're not going to luck into it. You're not going to back into winning a 16-team championship. And I feel sorry for some of y'all that got to go against Tyler, that got to go against Lewis, that got to go against man, why am I blanking out on the S. Wickles, not S. Wickles. My Eagles guy that won second, Ceremonial. These guys are going to be bringing it. They got a title to defend, and they're not going to be letting up. They're not going to be getting off the gas for anybody. It's going to be pedal to the metal, baby. Ain't no angel, but ain't no devil. They're going to be bringing the heat. All right, so be ready for that. And I really appreciate it. I want everybody to be on the show. I always try to keep it a little short. Like I said, remember, 3 things we're highlighting. Be nice in this league. You want to talk some trash to some of your homies, that's cool. Don't go out of your way to talk trash to somebody else in the league. We'll have to kick you out. Just had to kick somebody out this morning. I don't like doing that. That's not who I am. I'm not out here to power trip or tell somebody. But as soon as it was over, everybody's the atmosphere of the league has changed. It lighthearted. Everybody started commenting again. All right, so I got to do what's best for the league. But the way to do that is just remember there's action and consequence. Be good, you'll be good. Can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen kind of thing, and don't be bringing it to people that don't want it. All right, that's how my take on it. All right, let's be nice. It's about Kawasaki's disease. It's about IDP. All right, Expo, super fun. Got to get out there. Let's make it happen. British guys, I'm going to come and see you once I win this big pot. Not if. Once I win this big pot, I'm coming back out there. West Coasters, we got to make it happen. Let's make it happen somewhere, someplace. Like I said, IDP. Fantasy Football Sevens, man, this is your podcast. This is your podcast. We talk about your team, your people, your players, your matchup. This is all about your experience in this league, and I want it to be a positive experience. So if you're not making it help into the positive experience, I'll have to show you the boot. Not my plan. Thank you, Alex, for those positive words, man. I like working with everybody. Thank you, Bogey, for saying those positive things. I know. Everybody has their differences, but in here we're keeping it positive, and everybody that I've met to and everybody that I mess with is pretty positive. So I would like to thank everybody for that. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining. Next week, let's get some people on the show. Let's talk some IDP. Let's talk some preseason games. Let's talk about getting your team ready for this gauntlet, baby. I will say that real quick. It's easy to get burnt out in this. I got such recharged from just going to the Expo and coming back, and the spiritual experience I kind of had before then and while there and on the way back, man. It's completely recharged me. So if you're in my league, I'm coming for it. And if you're in one of my best balls that I'm playing against, I'm coming for it. Coming for all my leagues. I'm coming out to represent that I am one of the best out here. Because the excellence of execution, I learned from my man right here, Bret Hart. It's a sweet thing, the excellence of execution, and I'm out here to prove I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And I hope you're doing that too. I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Be smart, and I'll talk to you soon.